Hey there, my name is Veronica Isles, and I am excited to be with you today. And we are talking manifestation secrets to live your best life ever. What works, what doesn't, and I truly want you to succeed. Okay, so let's talk about ignoring the 3D and what this means and how you can practically put this to use. Now, I don't ever think that you should turn a blind eye to the 3D because I think if you are experiencing unwanted circumstances, that they are in fact trying to teach you something. There is knowledge to be learned, to be gained. This doesn't mean that you should enjoy the unwanted circumstance, but it basically just means that it's showing up for a reason. And if you can better understand it, then you can better get through the moment, rise to the next level. We're always sort of seeking a greater awareness of ourselves, seeking expansion, seeking a higher level of consciousness. That's what we love to do. That is our true purpose. Now, ignoring the 3D, we exist in the 3D. When we want an experience to happen, we don't just want it to happen within, we want it to happen in the 3D. So I never say to necessarily ignore the 3D, because if you ignore the 3D, it's very hard to kind of suppress what is happening right in your face, what is happening all around you. And this creates sort of a great feeling of resistance within you. And you don't want resistance. Resistance feels like a struggle inside. It feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. So basically, what we are going for is allowing the 3D not to feel like it's permanent. And when you can see the 3D as changeable, as movable, as temporary, you can allow yourself to not let it get the best of you. If you are experiencing something awful in the 3D right now, maybe you're in a lot of physical pain, like that's hard to ignore. Maybe someone in your life has just let you down, broke your heart. That's hard to ignore. Maybe you can't pay your rent. That's hard to ignore. So don't turn a blind eye to it. Just realize that there is a solution and you can be in perfect alignment with that solution to feeling healthy and well, with that solution to that person making things up to you, with that solution of gaining a windfall of money so that you not only can pay this month's rent, but maybe you can end up putting a down payment on a new home. So we see the 3D as temporary, as not permanent, as something that doesn't get the best of us. So you don't suppress your emotions. If you have to cry, if you have to get angry, if you are frustrated, it is okay. Like, you are allowed to feel those emotions. And that does not mean that you're going to withhold the solution from yourself by experiencing those emotions. I believe that you should never suppress emotions. You should always allow yourself to fully experience them so that you can heal and sort of cleanse yourself from these emotions. You just don't allow these emotions to get the better of you and to control you and to feel like you will be forever experiencing these things. So again, if you have to cry, it's okay. It's just temporary. It can be cleansing. It can be healing. It can be something that's good for the soul. So don't withhold any emotions from yourself, but don't let them get the best of you. So always feel like you are in control. You are taking an empowered step towards this. So yes, the 3D may be showing you the exact opposite of what you thought you were manifesting. That doesn't mean you've gone down the wrong path. A lot of times these unwanted circumstances, they can be blessings in disguise, have a silver lining. So we always want to take kind of an optimistic spin on things. So we don't ignore the 3D. We realize it's temporary. We realize it's not the source. The source is you. What you are creating in your tomorrows comes from you. The 3D is like, it's like the after effect. But again, if you are seeing something unwanted in the 3D, don't blame yourself. Don't tell yourself you did something wrong in your manifesting. Just try to calmly approach it. And I know when the 3D is showing you the opposite, the last thing you usually want to do is be calm. Like, you usually want to get upset. And as I said before, if you need to do that, allow yourself to cleanse and heal from those emotions, but don't let them get the better of you. Still feel like you are in control, that you are the creator, and that tomorrow could bring miracles, blessings, and the realization of your wildest dreams. There is a solution for everything you are going through. It's temporary. And it's showing up for knowledge. We seek knowledge. We are beings of desiring expansion and greater awareness and higher levels of consciousness. Like, that's what we want. So these moments of challenges, of unwanted circumstances, don't turn a blind eye to the 3D. If you turn a blind eye to it, you try to pretend like it's not happening, you're again going to feel resistance. You're going to feel uncomfortable inside, and you're not going to learn what it's trying to teach you. So I want you to take a deep breath right now. Whatever is showing up in the 3D, remind yourself it is temporary. It is not permanent. And when you can realize that it's not permanent, it doesn't really get the better of you. We tend to get frustrated and angry when we feel like it's permanent. For example, if you're waiting on an apology from someone, and you would feel really hurt and really frustrated thinking that apology would never come. But if you feel like, well, it just hasn't happened yet, well, that's a very much more comforting feeling. So we comfort ourselves, we soothe ourselves. That allows us to release resistance and better align with the result. And the result will happen when it's meant to happen. And that doesn't mean that there's someone above you picking and choosing. But again, we live in the 3D. So in the 3D, there's certain logistics that have to take place. Circumstances, events, people, all sorts of things have to change in order to bring about the outcome you desire. So have patience. Whatever you're going through, it's not going to last forever. There's a bright light at the end of the tunnel. I promise. I've seen it happen so many times in my life. And if you let it get the better of you, well, then you're just going to put yourself through all this stress, all this anguish for no reason. Try to take a deep breath. Don't feel the need to ignore the 3D. Just know it's not permanent. And whatever you want is still possible. Like, I don't care what the 3D is showing you right now or what circumstances are in your way. When we try to manifest something, it means there are circumstances standing in the way. Like, if there weren't circumstances standing in the way, you wouldn't want to manifest it. Like, there'd be no need to manifest it. So there are circumstances, unwanted circumstances in any manifestation. And when you get your heart's desire, whatever it is you are seeking right now, I don't care how big it is, you will form a new desire and you will play the game all over again. I think there's a book called The Game of Life and how to play it. And life really is this elaborate game. And this doesn't mean it's not real. This doesn't mean the 3D is an illusion, because it's not. But it means that we're constantly rinsing and repeating. So if you can get a better understanding, a better grasp on what you're here to do, and the fact that you're supposed to prove to yourself that you can attain these things that you thought were once impossible, that there were circumstances standing in the way that have now been lifted, and you gain knowledge and you gain expansion and a greater awareness of self. And if you can understand that, you can get better at bringing your manifestations into fruition and get better at the game of life.